Hello YouTube, NASCAR fan 4888JJ here, and I'm here today to talk about the NASCAR Heat 2 career mode. Guys, you have no idea how excited I am. This is the most excited I've been for a racing game for I don't know how long. You expect a lot of games to be good. You expect Project Cars 2 to be good. You expect the F1 games to be good, but after the past few years looking at the NASCAR games, you don't expect them to be that good. So this is what excites me. The in-depth career mode really excites me, and I hope it excites everyone else. You know, the graphics may not be the best, the physics may not be the best, but improved. The handling model may be more arcadish than simulation, but the career mode looks like it's going to be really good, and this is why I think it's going to be the racing game NASCAR fans have been waiting for. After the pathetic career modes from Technics, I mean, they were just honestly terrible. You have this, and the big news is that there are going to be 2 new series, and you start at the bottom and work your way up, which is really cool. The Madden games, I'm a really big Madden fan, and for Madden 18, you start off in high school and you play high school, then you go to college, you play college, then you go to NFL and you can play 15 seasons in the NFL. It is practically endless, working your way up, switching teams every couple seasons, whatever. It's really cool, and it keeps you involved. If you stay at the same team, let's just say NASCAR, if you stay with the Lowe's 48 team for 15 seasons in NASCAR Heat, it's going to get boring. But if you're able to switch around, start in the lower truck series and work your way up, and that's what makes a game exciting. That's why you didn't see people play 4 seasons of NASCAR Heat, because it was the same thing over and over and over again. So hopefully in this game, it's not like it takes you 2 seasons and you can go from 0 to hero, bottom of the truck series straight to Monster Energy series. And I think that they're smart enough to realize that, and they're gonna make it more challenging for the people like myself that really want a challenging in-depth career mode. Now, I've got this article pulled up from Game Informer, and you guys can follow along. I'll put the link in the description below, and just scroll down to the part where it says career mode. It says the career mode starts in the truck series. As you go through your initial season, you'll get hot seat race offers in the next series. So what these hot seat race offers are is basically you get 1 race deals with people in the Xfinity series. Let's say you are racing for Kyle Busch Motorsports, hypothetically in the truck series. You might get a 2 race deal with Joe Gibbs Racing in the Xfinity series. Maybe one at Martinsville, then maybe one all the way down at Homestead. Well, I mean, I guess Xfinity doesn't go to Martinsville, but you get the idea. So that's realistic. You don't see people just jump from 1 full season for BK Racing then the next full season in Joe Gibbs Racing in the Xfinity series. You see them get a few races and test the water, see how they're going to be, then you put them in the full ride. You don't just throw them in there. And it says meet the criteria in these hot seat races, and you can get an offer to jump up to Xfinity at the end of the year. So you impress in your few Xfinity races, then you might get an offer to race full-time in the Xfinity series, maybe with a lower team. I don't know. Once again, I don't want it to be where you can be bottom of the truck series, then really impressed, do 2 races at Joe Gibbs Racing, and then they'll give you a full-time ride. That's not challenging at all. I know you can turn up the difficulty or whatever, like the AI difficulty, and that will be challenging in itself. But let's keep on reading here. When you accept a contract with a team, you take over one of their cars and replace the driver. Overall, there are no driver retirements, and the other drivers will stay in their series and do not migrate up with you. So if you do 10 seasons, Christopher Bell will still be in the 4 car in the truck series. They're not going to switch rides or anything, which would be so hard to do with all the sponsorships, all the different drivers. You'd have drivers retiring, new drivers coming out, all the licensing. That would be a disaster. Alright, so it says you can race in multiple series at once and do multi-series race weekends if the schedule aligns. So that's what I was talking about. You could be full-time in the truck series, get 2 race still in the Xfinity series, and race in the same weekend. You could do all 3 in the same weekend if you had the contracts. And you can also stay in the same series if you want. So if you want to be in the truck series for 10 seasons, by golly, you can do it. Alright. Let's see. The driver rivalries and friendships. Both are naturally formed by how you treat drivers on the track. Let's go ahead and read the next thing. It explains it a little bit more. The rivalry system has a ramp up period, so you're not going to see a driver go crazy if you have one run, and tempers will boil over, however, the more you go at it. Driver relationships cool off somewhat between seasons, so rivalries and bad feelings between drivers are not permanent. The studio says it wants to also make it where large wrecks at a plate track, for instance, don't make you a bunch of enemies just because you got caught up in the big one. So rivalries have been a thing NASCAR games have been missing forever. Well, not forever, for the past decade, let's say. It's really unique to NASCAR games because it's the main game that, has this main racing game. You don't see it in F1 games, you don't see it in Project Cars, you don't see that anywhere else. You just see it in the old classic NASCAR games, and we're getting that back. It's a unique thing to NASCAR games, and I'm really glad to see it back. Also, to touch on, if you are in a big wreck at a plate track, you're not going to, let's say you spin out and 4 cars hit you, then you hit 3 more cars. You're not going to make 7 enemies in that one wreck just because you were caught up in a wreck. Well, that's what they're trying to avoid. I remember playing, I don't even remember what game it was. It was one of the Thunder games, and I was at Daytona, and I got spun out, and then like a few cars hit me. I went through the grass and hit a couple more, and I made so many rivals, and it made me so mad. So hopefully they can avoid that. It says you also get driver feedback from Keselowski and other from a message system, both as a way to help you and give some driver flavor to the mode. Messages about your rivalry status with a particular driver pop up after races. So after a race, message will pop up showing if you made friends, if you made rivals, whatever, and also you'll get driver feedback from other drivers. So maybe you passed Keselowski for the win. He will, maybe, this is what I see in my head, message system will come up, nice win out there, or just people congratulate you in general. So that's more realistic, because you see a lot of NASCAR drivers do that, tweet at each other congratulating them or whatever, especially if you see a young driver win. When Ryan Blaney won, everyone was, giving them thumbs up. When Bubba Wallace won last week in the trucks, or just a few days ago in the truck series, all the drivers were congratulating him. So it's just another sense of realism. Team momentum. This is something I'm kind of worried about. Let's just read it real quick. Team momentum is earned by strong finishes at the track from week to week. The idea is your strong performances lift your team members and crew, ultimately giving you stronger, better performing cars. Now, what I'm worried about is that they're gonna make it like an arcane, like, you have gained momentum plus 50 points, like something like that. I don't want it to be like you get a bonus or something like that. Maybe they work a couple hours later, and as a result of that, your car is stronger, and that's what I think it's going to be more like. But that's just the thing that worries me the most, and I hope it's not like momentum is everything. It is important. Like Ryan Newman at Phoenix earlier this year, he won Phoenix on fuel strategy, but then you saw the next 4 or 5 races, he was running top 10, and you don't normally see that team running top 10. So momentum is a real thing, and I've never seen it before. So that's also another reason why it worries me. You've never seen it before. You don't know how it's going to work. In the next game, it's going to be improved. You know that for a fact. And the last thing Game Informer says on here is that in general, the longer you stay with one team, the better the team gets. This allows you to build and improve one of the lower ranked teams in real life. And the momentum thing replaces last game's facilities upgrade function. Now, this also brings up a point where you are the racer. In old games, you would upgrade engine. In NASCAR Heat Evolution, you'd upgrade the engine. You'd upgrade stuff through R&D, but now it's as if the team's doing that for you, and you're just the racer. You're not also picking which parts, which is more realistic. You don't see Jimmy Johnson picking what engine he wants to be, or what chassis, or whatever it is. You don't see him doing that. That's up to the team. So that's how it should be in a NASCAR game. You want it to be as close to real life as possible. And also, let's see, this allows you to build and improve one of the lower ranked teams in real life. So if you get a lot of momentum, then maybe your team's 20th place one week, then you might improve a few positions the next, and then next, and next, and maybe halfway through the season, you're consistently running top 10s. Now, I don't want momentum to be overpowered, where you can be a 30th place car, finish 25th, gives your team momentum, and you run up and get a top 10 the next week. No, that's not at all what you want to see. I really hope this is challenging. That's the biggest thing. It sounds great and all, but it's not going to be fun if it's easy. It's not going to be fun if you get top teams signing you on. You know, the first contract, I think you are able to choose, like in the developer diary, you had 8 contracts or whatever. There were some from large teams and small teams. So if you want to start off with a big team, you can do that. If you want to start off with a low team and build on from there, you can do that as well. Which, if you know, that would probably be the best thing. You can start wherever you want and then work from there. Like Project Cars 2, you could start in, you know, you guys know the 7 tiers of Formula 1. You can start in tier 1, or the lowest tier, or the 4th tier. You know, you can skip all of that if you would like to, but also for us that want to do that, like myself, to start from the bottom, then you can do that as well. So guys, leave your opinions down in the comment section below, and like this video. If you liked the video, just like it. If you didn't like it, but guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.